Welcome back to Trove One, everybody. Putting the forks on the tractor. We've had some pretty decent storms blow through here in the last few days, and we got some branches down on the fence. So I gotta go work on the fence a little bit. I think the fence is fine. I think I just need to get the branches cleared off, and I don't think it broke anything, but we're gonna go check and see. I haven't been around all the fence yet, so I'm gonna go check the fence, try to get any branches off. And then I had another project. I don't know if I'll get to start on it today, but I'm gonna try to do it in this video. I got a project I've been wanting to work on for a little while around here, so we'll see what all we get to. But right now, get the forks put on here and go clear some branches off the fence. I blew this little tree down on our hot wire mesh here. Hopefully the fence is okay under there. But I'm gonna cut the top of this off. Brought my Milwaukee electric chainsaw. It's a convenient saw for little things like this, trimming branches and small trees and stuff. So we're gonna use this and see if we can't cut the top out of this tree and get it out of the way. The ground's super soft. Tractor started sinking in the ground there. Doesn't look like it tore up our fence from what I can tell. We'll just pull this out a little bit here, and if anything, it might have just stretched it out a little bit. Pulled this pole over, but that's an easy fix. Kind of got the fence bunched up right here because we had it a little bit long. Hey Carmel, what are you doing? You got enough stuff to eat in there? You should have more than enough. So in case you don't know, this is Carmel. He's a Nigerian dwarf goat, and he is our Billy. We got him as a bottle goat, and Sarah fed him with a bottle, and the idea was he's gonna be our Billy goat. The only problem is, I'm not sure. Nigerian dwarfs are not full-size goats, they're smaller goats. But he has grown so slow. He's tiny, even compared to our other Nigerian dwarf goat. She's way bigger than him. So I don't know. We're wondering if he had like stunted growth or something wrong with him before we got him. We fed him goat formula and stuff that should have been correct, but we know before we got him, there was maybe some questionable things fed to him. So I don't know. Maybe they just grow really slow, or maybe he's stunted and he's never going to get much bigger than this. Not really sure. I guess we'll see. He's not that old yet, but hopefully he'll be big enough to at least breed our other goat. Why are you backing into the fence, knucklehead? Fence might not be working very good right now. It is still showing that it's got a charge, but we have had a lot of clouds the last few days, so it might not have the most juice in it. I'm gonna go around the rest of the fence. I haven't gone past this, and see if we got any other spots that have anything on them. And I know we got some branches down the road on the fence by the cows. Well, looks like we got another big old branch. There's a big old sweet gum branch came out of this big sweet gum tree right here. Pond's looking good, but this branch just barely hit the fence. The very ends of it knocked some of the fence over here, so I should really just pick this whole thing up with the fork, shove it off in the woods there, and our fence should be good. It's just the end of some of these branches. Kind of watch it with this fence. The branches and sticks and stuff really get tangled in it, so you gotta kind of be careful getting them out. Well, that ought to be good enough for now. Go check the rest of the fence and see how it's doing. We have a ton of these little wild blackberries right here. These are all green. These will be a little while before. There's a big patch of them here. There's some more nearby that are ripening up. I think they may technically be dewberries. They're a lower bush, kind of more of a vine. I think they're called dewberries. And the kids have been picking those. These will ripen soon. And then we have some more down the road that they're wild, but they're not a typical wild blackberry. They're something else. They're a lot bigger. They got big old mean thorns on them. Those are really good. Less seedy than the typical wild blackberries. There's also a bunch of honeysuckle out here. Let's get over the fence and go check out this honeysuckle. If you don't know what honeysuckle is, this right here is honeysuckle. It's this vine, looks like this. A lot of animals like it. Deer like it. I think the goats and sheep, I'm sure, like it. But you can take the bottom of it and pull this little stem out, and there'll be a tiny drop of it's like a little nectar. This one's kind of, I can't do it with one hand, but tastes really good. We actually talked about picking a bunch of these. You can make a honeysuckle jelly out of them. You kind of do them like we do the red bud. You boil them down, make kind of a tea out of them, and you get that nectar out of it, and then you can make a jelly out of it. But smell really good, tastes good. Not much there, but kind of a fun thing. Reminds me of my childhood. We used to get honeysuckle at my grandparents, and blackberries. Some little blackberries here too. Wild blackberries. It's part of growing up in Arkansas. Honeysuckle and blackberries. Here's what the little flowers look like. There's these yellower ones and the wider ones. I always thought the yellow ones tasted sweeter, but you just take the end of it right here where this little green part is, and you pinch it and you pull that out, and that little stem will come out like that. And then eventually you get that little drop right there. Just a little bit of honeysuckle nectar. This is the white one. I always thought the yellow ones were sweeter. That one didn't have any in it. Once they get dried out a little further along, they won't have any. That one's got a good drop in it. Once they get dried out a little bit more, they won't have it in them anymore. But, and they're getting close to being done here, but that's honeysuckle for you, in case you never had it. Hey guys, hey Maximus, what you doing, boy? What you doing? That blackberry. Hey Decimus, there you are. And the goat, she's taking over the doghouse for sure with her little babies. Another goat's off somewhere else. Well, looks like the rest of the fence is in good shape and they're all doing fantastic. So I'm gonna run down to the other fence and try to clean that tree up. A storm took the top out of this maple tree right here. Kind of a pretty little tree, but it just broke. It's kind of a forked tree, but it broke both top pieces out of it there, here. Another branch over there. Looks like it might have pushed the T-post over a little bit, but that's about it on the fence. So no real damage, but another thing to clean up. And always a shame to lose a tree, especially a maple tree. Maybe the rest of it, I probably won't cut it down since it's a maple tree. Might as well leave it. I got most of it cleaned up. The cows are eating some of the leaves. Got a couple branches over here. The sheep are eating the leaves off of it, so I'll leave those in there. Good little snack for them. Didn't hurt the fence here any, so should be good to go on that. We were fortunate. We did have one branch fell in the garden, tore up a couple tomato plants a little bit, a few corn plants blown over. We had some pretty strong wind, but nothing near like some people have had. And there's a really bad tornado in Kentucky. So it's been some rough storms in the south this past week or so. And we got another round coming through here in a few hours, probably sometime this evening and tonight. So hopefully we're in I think a moderate tornado risk for tonight. So hopefully we stay in the clear. Boy, cows are all fired up, but hopefully we don't have any major storms just that time of year for our area. So there's some serious hail and potential tornado risk tonight, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we come out okay, but it's just part of it. Unfortunately, either the baby bluebirds didn't make it or they're already gone. I know originally there was 3 or 4, and then it went down to 2 babies in there. So there's definitely some that something happened to, and now there's none. So the last time I looked, one of them was starting to get bigger feathers. I don't know if it made it or if the storm got it. It wasn't really the best location. Rain could run right down in that nest, but I don't know. It's just kind of nature for you right there. What? Our poor tomato plants, they've been a little bit beat up. We had some small hail. Some of this is from hail. We got some big tomatoes on this one, right down in there. Got some small hail that beat up some of them a little bit. And that branch also, I don't even know what tree it came off of. It came off of one of those trees, or it came off of that tree over there. You're not super close, but it blew in here and landed on some of our plants and cages and stuff, and kind of beat them up. So I don't think we'll completely lose any plants, but there's a lot that have broken branches on them. So They took a hit, but it could have been a lot worse. We could have had a lot of hail. So we still got pretty healthy plants. They definitely took a little bit of a beating. And I turned loose, I bought 300 ladybugs the other day and turned them loose. And it looks like between that and the rain and wind, we still got some aphids on them, but they're a lot better than they were. Yeah, the garden's pretty sad looking right now, but it'll bounce back. We'll see what this next storm does. We need to thin out our corn plants down to get them spaced properly, but I'm gonna wait till after the next storm so we can see how many are actually still surviving. I think that hail we had the other day was a little bit, I really didn't think it was that bad, but there's definitely a lot of hail dings on the plants, so they'll make it, but took a little bit of a hit. But guys, it is another day. It's the next day. We made it past all the nasty, severe weather. I think it's over for a few days at least. We'll get a break from the rain. The creeks are up and roaring. I wish we could go hiking today or something, but don't have time for that. I'm actually headed to Little Rock because I need to go look at picking up another cargo trailer for our business. I've got a couple and they're both in use, and one's going to be in use for a while on a big job, and we need to grab another one so we can use it on other jobs and for extra storage because our shop's also getting full. So I'm going to go look at a trailer from a trailer dealership and see what they got, see if they got some good trailers. Alright, made it down here. Looks like I got a few different trailers to look at. Looking for probably a 16-foot or so. We'll look around and see what we got. Well, we picked us up a 16-foot by 7-foot tall cargo trailer. We'll roll on home with this thing. Well, I made it home. Well, there she is, the new trailer. This trailer is made by Synergy 2. They make some pretty affordable trailers. I'm not gonna say they're the highest quality or heaviest duty. There's definitely better trailers out there. But for the type of stuff I do, I don't run them super hard. So they're very affordable. So it's a budget trailer. But things like this board right here, I don't know if you can tell on camera, this is the crookedest cut I've ever seen. So not the highest quality trailer. It also, this one doesn't even have a vent in it. I can add that in pretty easy, but just little things like that, they're pretty basic, but for what I need, it's gonna get the job done. I hauled a big load of stuff home right here. I got some rain gutters, and that's gonna be for a little project down at the hog pen. So try to round up a few things and take that down there, see if we can't work on a little rain catchment system so we can collect free water so we don't have to water the hogs. So I got this big tank right here. This was actually in that barn we tore down a while back. The top end's got a bunch of holes in it. It's kind of broken, but I'm gonna use this for the hogs and we'll see how it works. I think it's gonna work pretty good. And it doesn't have to be super sealed up. I'll just run that gutter straight down into the top of this thing. This thing holds 210 gallons. So that, with 3 hogs, even if we had more hogs, that'll last a pretty good while. It might not be long enough that I won't have to fill it up with a hose periodically, but hopefully I'll get enough rainwater off that shed roof to keep this thing full and never even have to water them. We'll see how it turns out, but throw this in the trailer and take all this down the road, see if we can't get this thing set up. All right, down here at the hogs and the sheep. Got the hogs fed. Sheep are stealing some of their corn. I have to move where I feed them so the sheep can't reach through there, because I don't really want the sheep eating a whole bunch of hog feed and corn. That's kind of want the sheep to mostly be just grass, and then we get oats for them. Keep them really clean eating. I don't really want them eating a bunch of corn. But my goal is on the back of the shed here. I've got some gutter and I'm going to put a gutter up here down to that end probably, and then drop down to that big tank, and we'll just do rainwater collection off of this roof. This roof is probably 16 by 20, so not huge, but it should get a decent amount of water, especially when we have heavy rain. So I think it's going to work pretty good. Gotta see if I got enough gutter and see how our overhang is. If your roofing overhangs too much, then your gutter will be underneath the roofing and the water can't fall into it, so I'd have to get another board and shift it out. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we'll get everything out of the trailer and over here and see if this is going to work. We have a rabbit friend out here. They usually have babies in the spring. Might be a little bit late for them now, but probably still have some little ones running around somewhere. One of these days we might get meat rabbits. It's on my list. It's something I kind of want to do, but I also don't even know if I like rabbit. But they are pretty easy and they reproduce rapidly, and yeah, they're kind of like chicken. They're just easy to do, and you can get a fair amount of meat, and they reproduce really fast. But it's still just a little animal, so I don't know, maybe eventually. So in this tank for the hogs to drink out of, I've got 3 of these little spigots right here. I've never used these before. I have one of the, it's broken now, but I have one of the bowl ones where the hogs have like a paddle and they push their nose against it, and that lets water flow down in the bowl. These, they just bump it and then water comes out, so it can rotate around. It's just a spring-loaded pin, and then there's a little rubber seal in there, so right there water won't come out, and then as soon as it gets pushed on, water will come out. I haven't used these. It's kind of like, they make some smaller version of these, kind of similar. They're a little different, kind of similar for chickens, little nipples that you can put on a tank and the chickens can peck at it and get water out of it. I got some of those. I never have set up a water for them, but I'm gonna try these. I got 3 of them. I just got to drill holes and put them in here, but I left my drill in the shop evidently because it's not my truck. This kit even came with a cheap little hole saw bit. This is the worst hole saw bit I think I've ever seen, but it'll probably drill 3 holes through plastic. So I gotta go find my drill, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get these installed, and I'll disconnect the trailer because I can't get my ladder out of the truck with the trailer on it, and I'm gonna need a ladder. All right guys, new day. I had to quit working on this yesterday and I'm back today. So got my drill here and the drill hole for this, and see if we can get these things installed. That is the worst drill bit I've ever seen. So I just realized I have one small problem. This needs to go here, but I need to put this ring on the inside, and it's got a screw on from the inside, and that's going to be kind of hard to get to. So if you're doing something like this, now I could probably put one, this has a drain right here, and actually it's actually the correct size for that. If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have drilled that other hole, because I actually need to fill this hole because it needs a plug in it. So wish I'd have checked that first. I could have put one right there and filled that hole, but I'll get a blank plug to put in there and put it in there, and then I'll put 1, 2, 3 of these in here, and then 3 animals can be drinking at the same time if they want. So I got to get this in there, so I'm going to cut, this is already broken here, so I'm going to cut this out a little bit bigger, and then I'll go recruit me some help here in a little bit. For now, let's go work on our rain gutters. I never put up any rain gutter before, but this plastic stuff seems pretty simple. We got these clips right here. These just slide into the gutter like this. So slide those into position. They got a little hole right there. Shoot a screw in there. That'll fasten it up. I got some end caps for the ends. And then I've got a splice piece that'll go in the middle so I can put these together. And then I got a downspout section. And since I'm going to put my tub of water down there, it should just kind of drain, but I'll probably try to make it run downhill a little bit. So I'll slowly drop the gutter like maybe an inch over the course of this distance. And we'll see how that works. Well, that's one piece up. I'm gonna put up the little splice here. That is very, very easy. We'll put a splice on and put up the other piece here now. As you can see, I got some overhang here, so I gotta cut that back so we can put this downspout piece in. So I need this right there close to the end, and then a short piece of that, and then another end cap. So the only thing I have in my truck right now to cut this with is a skill saw, which these actually work pretty good for cutting PVC. So it's probably not gonna be pretty, but it'll probably get the job done. Probably would have been smart to measure and cut that first, but that seemed annoying. I don't have a measuring tape. See if the old Nipix low voltage scissors will finish that off. This stuff is a little bit tougher than you would think, and it also shatters. I don't think it's actually, well, I don't know if it's PVC or not. Whatever the case, my Nipix were not impressed with it. In fact, it bent a little piece right there, and they now no longer work, which is actually pretty shocking. Nipix are usually pretty good tools, but I'm not super impressed with that one. My old faithful scissors, though, on the other hand, cut it like butter. All right, got our downspout, got my little end piece here, so we've got us a gutter. This roof's getting in rough shape. Probably need to put a new roof on it at some point. Looks like it's starting to leak on the end here. Definitely has a lot of debris that needs to be cleaned off. It's probably part of the reason it's wanting to leak a little bit, but I'm not gonna worry about that today. It's just a shed for cows and hogs and stuff. All right, I think I'm gonna call it a night. We got a nice little sunset going on over there. I need to get a plug for this before I can even put water in it, and I need to get my jigsaw so I can make this hole bigger and grab one of the kids so I can send them inside the tank to put the screw on the inside. So maybe tomorrow I'll finish this up. My back's also telling me to quit for the night, so I'm gonna quit. And I appreciate all the kind words on our last video. I was talking about some of my back problems, so hopefully I'll get healed up all the way soon, but until then I'm just going to take it a little slower. This would usually be like a one evening project, but I'll be spending 3 or 4 on it. But I'll get it done a little at a time. We're getting closer, so I'll be back tomorrow maybe. All right, new day, and I brought some reinforcements with me today. We're going to cut this out big enough to where we got some space to be able to get in here so we can put the hog water nipples on. So that's what we're going to do first.
Oh. Wait, are you gonna cut?
Yep, look at it. you gonna get out?
What? Doesn't know.
Well, I guess I know who gets the job of tightening these things up on the inside.
Why?
Because he fits. You think you fit too?
Yes. You taking it in, kid? You might not be able to, though. It's pretty tight. I think you can. Oh, yeah, I could get in here. Can you get in? So we can get to those holes. All right. Oh, but it is kind of still rolling.
All right, here's this. There's that. You gotta put the rubber piece on first and then put the other piece on.
Where did I put it?
And this, see, this will go like this. This side in, but you gotta put the rubber piece on first, okay, when I stick it through that hole.
Here's this tiny bit.
Okay, can you tighten that up from in there with those pliers? Actually, I can do it from here. I just gotta get one full turn. That ought to do it. Yep. All right, we got the 3 nipples put on here. We're gonna try to get this tank cleaned out because it's kind of dirty. So we're gonna rinse this out a little bit, and then we're gonna try to get it over into the hog pen, I think. I still gotta get a 3/4 plug, so I can't seal it up yet and put water in it. But we'll try to get it over here and get our downspout over to it. Well, while we were cleaning it, we discovered that this tank has a crack in the bottom of it right there. So I think I can fix that. I'll probably have to get some epoxy or something, and we'll try to seal that up. That may halt our plans for a little bit though. Well, with that crack in the bottom and the other piece missing, I don't have much left to do. We just got to put our gutter up and stick it over there, but I don't want to put it over there till I can put some water in it, because the hogs are going to start shoving it around if it doesn't have some weight. So it's gonna rain again in the next few days, and I really like to have it up, but I've got to get more parts. So some of you know how this goes. You start a project, you think you got everything for it. 14 days later, you might get it done. But we got the hogs fed, so that needed to be done anyway. And I guess I'll round up some more parts and we'll come back to this later. Hey, day 42 of trying to make a rain catchment system. Got some epoxy, and hopefully this is the right fitting to fill that one hole. So we're gonna find out real quick. That ought to do it. All right, now for this crack we've got right here, I'm gonna rough this up with my orbital sander a little bit, and then we're just gonna lay epoxy on this and try to seal it up as best we can. All right, we're gonna mix a little of this epoxy right here. That might be enough. Stir this, mix it. This activates it, so it won't do anything until you mix this, and then these things activate. That's how it works. Now I'm just gonna lay it on here, cover this crack up, lay it on nice and thick. All right, we got that on. We'll see how that does. Hopefully it'll seal it up, but we'll find out. All right, we're waiting on that to dry. We're gonna cut our downspout. We have to put up our downspout that'll go from the gutter down into the tank. So I'm gonna cut this about here with the Sawzall. I think that's gonna be pretty close, and then we'll do a couple elbows to kick it out, and then it'll drop in the tank. All right, we got our downspout up and our board's on the ground. That'll just keep it up off the ground a little bit. And we just need the tank. Maybe it's been long enough. Maybe our epoxy's dry enough. Not great. Oh yeah.
Now I just need some water. We need some water so they don't just move it all the way around.
Yeah, why don't you go grab the hose? Let's put some water in it. Well, this worked out pretty good. I don't even have to put a dog leg on the gutter. It's lining up just fine. So got the 3 spigots here, got it set up on the boards. We're going to put some water in it, otherwise the hogs will just push this thing all over the place because they like to shove on everything. So put some water in it, and hopefully my thing doesn't leak in the bottom. I'm not going to put too much. It needs probably another 10-15 minutes to cure all the way, so we'll just put enough to get a little weight in it and hopefully not leak. And it's supposed to rain starting tomorrow, so hopefully we'll get some rain. It'll run into our gutter and it'll fill our tank up, and then the hogs just have to figure out how to use these little spigots. But hogs are super curious, so they'll probably be over here messing with them and figure it out pretty quick. At least I hope so. Well, my patch isn't leaking currently, so that's good. They get enough water in here to get up to the spigot levels, and we'll see if the hogs can figure out how to drink out of it. We got to refill their other container. We'll probably go ahead and do that while we're down here. Just make sure they got water, but hopefully they'll catch on to this other setup pretty quick, and then we won't have to refill their water as much. They're always dumping this one because they just push around on it, so they just end up dumping it all the time. Before I used a barrel, which works really good, but we're gonna try this. This will be bigger and we'll have free rainwater. Sure doesn't seem like much water, but it'll fill a lot faster when the tank's full. It looks like I got a couple small leaks around this rubber here. I was afraid that happened, especially with the curve of the tank. So I'll probably have to get some silicone or something, and I'll come back with something and get that sealed up good. But other than that, the hogs just have to figure out how to use it. We got, I think it's like 250 gallons, 210 gallons, 210 gallon tank coming off this roof, and that's gonna hopefully take care of the water for our hogs. We'll see how it does. Well guys, I think that's all we got time for today. Hogs are fed and happy. They got a new watering system. Got to work out a few little kinks, but not too bad. Garden, we need to come work in the garden. We got a lot of weeds. We had a hailstorm that tore it up some. So our garden is suffering a little bit, and I don't feel up to weeding and hoeing right now. So feeling a little bit better today. Hopefully I can keep improving. We'll see. But I think that's all we got for today, so we're going to wrap it up. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.